Hello, my Teaserking family. All right, I'm back. Um, yeah, I think sometimes it gets lost in that buffer. So I will wait a minute or two for people to realize and rejoin. So we're talking about it's impossible the way a government's created now to to be successful because it's all cost and no revenue. And then when you take gold out of it, so you think your revenue is going to come in from printing money or printing T bills and people buying your T bills. And you think, well, that's how we'll create revenue. Or, it's not really revenue. You sell your bonds so you can get money in to pay more expenses. But the government doesn't create any revenue. So how to it's gonna be like GM and Ford. They don't create revenue either. And all these companies with electric cars are going to be in. So let's see what gold and silver is doing. Yeah, 29.24. That's okay. At 10 o'clock, it did a drop and then it came back up. And it's been about 29.25, back to 29.30, 29.25. But we expect this. This is the USA time after 10 o'clock. China got it up to 29.45. So you see where it was 28.88 because it was a bullshit derivative. Now when they try to do the derivative and push it down, it doesn't go. It goes down a little bit, but not too much. So again, so that's your problem. That's the real problem of the government, and they're all the same. So they print money to death because they want to buy votes, expands government because they want power, because they want the money from the lobbyists. So people run for office to get lobbyist money. George Soros helps them out, and then they give George Soros favors, which is what's been going on for years. He's been controlling the judges and the district attorneys that are all Nazis and Keynesians and are against the law. They don't back the law. They want lawless stuff like these open borders. They like crime. They like chaos. For some reason, I don't know why. But that's what's happening. So people are running for office for the wrong reason. They're running for the lobbyist payoff. I can make $1 million being a senator, and I don't do anything. And this is the problem. They don't acknowledge the Constitution. It's really a bad thing. And so they expand. I'll give you votes. So to get votes, so I can get my lobbyist money, I'll give you things. So I'll give you handouts. It's like it's like a kid. I'll give him a piece of candy, and then he likes me, right? And that's the problem. And that's what you're doing with these senators and congressmen. They're all a bunch of little kids, and they like the lobbyist money. So the lobbyists give them money. Oh, okay. And that's really the problem. So it's a bad system. It wasn't intended. You should never have had a central bank. The central bank allows it because they keep printing money and printing money and printing money with no limit because it's not backed by gold. So they can just keep printing, but they don't realize they print and it goes to zero. The Keynesians will say, you got to print money to keep the economy going and you can't go bankrupt. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Of course you go bankrupt. That's exactly what happens. You can't keep it. It's like eating, as I say, it's like eating a chocolate cake every day and you're not going to get, oh, we won't get fat. Okay. Really? So this is the problem. The only way out of the debt is gold, but that's why he's doing the tariffs to try to raise money. But what he doesn't realize is as you increase costs, as you increase costs, you get less revenue. You get less sales. So if this is $10, you might sell 1,000 of them. If you raise it to 15, you're not going to sell 1,000. You're going to sell 800, 700. And that's what you don't understand. So even though you want to do tariffs to get more revenue in, it's going to cost more. So you're going to lose quantity and probably get less money in than more with the tariffs. Because I don't know how you're assuming quantity if you raise prices. It doesn't go up, it goes down. So that's what's happening. We need the gold standard because it keeps everything in order so you can't print the money to zero. We'll see. Anyway, so that's what's going on. NFL draft, we'll see. That's, I think, in March. So a month away. March Madness coming up. I'll probably do NBA playoffs. I usually do picks for that. Baseball, I do a little. And then obviously football is our bread and butter. I am going to try to do adult education and teach economics. You guys get it here. I do have classes here if you want them. But I think I'm going to try to also do education, adult education, because those are the real, I don't want to be in an undergrad program at Michigan where people aren't interested, right? When it's adult ed, people are there because they want to understand what's going on, like you guys do. And Grill D was doing, like Pat and the others. So that's what's happening. Gold 29.25. I expect it to be 23 or 29.25. I expect it to be 3,000 by Friday. It should take a run up. I don't know why the U.S. is still doing these derivative games. It makes no sense. You're certainly not keeping the price down. I don't know how much money you're making doing this, but there's no more gold out there to do it with. You're running out of the actual physical gold. And every time they take delivery, you've got to come up with the gold to deliver. So you shouldn't be playing a game that you're getting burnt with. Again, if you're going to try to make money, I'd buy the gold and silver. I would, as I showed you on eBay or whatever, you buy Eagles and Cougarans, Maple Leafs, solid stuff. And it should say gold on it, and it should say the weight, a half ounce, quarter ounce, an ounce. Some of these older gold pieces, like the James Bond Sovereign, they have it at my guy's store once in a while. Doesn't say gold on it. It doesn't say the weight on it. He says, well, it's a little more than a quarter ounce or whatever. I don't care. I'm not selling it because nobody's going to buy it from me because it doesn't say it's really gold. And they're not going to trust that it's real gold. They're going to think it's not real gold. And that's really the problem. So to be careful with that. But that's what you should buy. Playing poker, you've got to know everybody's watching you. So you want to get fake tells. You have to go to acting school. I was talking with Alyssa yesterday, and she says, "Oh, I'm just so shy, and I'm trying to please everybody." And then she gets yelled at, and she doesn't like it. And I said, "Well, you should do this. If you're shy, it's because you have to ask, what am I afraid of? And I'm not comfortable or confident in my abilities to whatever I'm talking about. So I won't say anything. I will be shy and don't say anything. And I'm just the opposite. And really, since I've done this, there's a tremendous amount of confidence I have. And like, if I wanted to teach now, an adult education, I would have zero problems doing it. I'd look forward to it. There, yeah. 15,000 rubles. All right, so I'm figuring out a FX thing. So 15,000 rubles is how much? Let's see what the ruble is to the dollar. It's been about 90. It was 100. It's 89 today. So that's the ruble to the dollar. So let's type in 15,000 and it's $168. So it's funny how you think, oh, geez, 15,000, but then you see 168. Anyway, so that's it's Daria's birthday. So she said, I want perfume. So I said, well, pick something. So she did. And so 15,000 rubles is 168. So I told her $200 was her allotment. So the extra 32 she can buy food with. Food's getting more. The prices are going up in Russia as their inflation's high. But when they go to a gold-back standard, we're really going to have to see what to do. Um, so anyway, back to where we were. Um, this is the problem with this is the problem with government, and things like that. Um, so right now, our goal is to get out of the dollars because they're worthless, and to get into gold and silver because they're way undervalued. Like I say, if a Bitcoin's 100,000, gold should be 500,000 because of its value. It's uh, it's worth Bitcoin's not real. Gold is. Gold you can't print. Bitcoin you think's limited to 21 million, and for some reason people think 21 million is limited. Yeah, if you compare it to the 160 trillion in the U.S., but that ain't backed by gold. If you got the gold on the gold standard, it's 200,000 tons. That's limited, and it's real. People have it, and you can see the bars and the coins. So your investment is to get out of the dollars, stocks, bonds, real estate, trust. Get your money out of the banks. The banks will start collapsing because they're not going to get paid their money. So it's just like a job or anything else. If I'm working, getting paid, and then I'm not working and I don't get paid, how do I pay my bills? So if I'm a bank and I'm relying on the money, um, so there's a lot of things that you don't understand that I do that your financial planner won't tell you. Um, they're gonna keep you in stocks and you're screwed. They're gonna keep you in the bank into an annuity and you're screwed. So you got to get the one thing is this is worthless. This has been printed to death. This is the one thing you must understand. This is worthless. Um, Once you understand that, and that's a hard thing to swallow because nobody's telling you it's worthless. They're telling you, oh, we can't go bankrupt and it's not worthless. And then you've got to look at the $36 trillion debt and go, how the hell can we pay that back? So you continually use money for interest, which means you're printing more and more money. And the thought of we can just keep printing money doesn't make any sense because you can't. Um, and that's what you're looking at. You can't just keep printing it. Not It's not how it works. So that's the point, right? Is most people don't understand that. Anyway, kind of lost my rhythm with talking to Daria, but she's not feeling well, so um, that's really it. So economics it's a lot of measuring. It's at what point, what is this, and these are prices, right? This is what I'm willing to spend, and this is what you're going to charge me, and this is what it's about. So if you want to charge me 35,000 for a Camry, $45 for ribs, but I'm willing to spend this, there's a problem. And that's the thing. So this is always you're trying to get to here if you're selling, right? If we're a company and we sell tennis shoes or Chinese food or whatever, our goal is to find this. Our goal also is what's our cost? If our cost is here, we can sell it for this, we make money. But if our cost is here or here and we sell it for this, we got to go out of business. And that's why the banks go out of business is if they're not getting their revenue in from these loans, then they're basically fucked, right? And that's why the banks go out. So understand that this is all happening now, and it's mostly because of this $36 trillion debt, which nobody wants to talk about, nobody wants to understand, and they can't figure it out. Well, we can just keep printing more. We'll just print more, and that's just a bunch of bullshit. You can't print more. It doesn't work that way. Just like you can't go for fourth down every time. And well, if we don't make it, it's a turnover. If you don't make it, you idiots, punt the ball. Don't you have a defense? And you see the team with the good defense always wins the Super Bowl. Brady only won with a good defense. Kansas City only won with a good defense, although they had a good one. Philly won with their defense. I would have loved to see Philly against the Lions. They'd have killed them. And it could have shut up all these Lions people who think, oh, we're the favorites to win the Super Bowl. We have this great offense and no defense, and you don't win with no defense. So if you're trying to win and you're trying to build a team and win playoff games and Super Bowls, you must draft defense, 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 and you can win with a who's that ball? Joe Flacco. You can win a Super Bowl with Joe Flacco as long as you got Ray Lewis and Ed Reed, but you can't win it with Dan Marino and no defense and no running game. You must be able to run in the red zone. That's critical. You must have a good defense. So if you don't understand those two concepts, you're fucked. It's the same with if you don't have gold, you're going to keep printing money, you're fucked. We're fucked. So again, if you have people that don't understand and you put them in the government and you put them in charge of the money, or you put corrupt people like Jamie Dimon and George Soros in charge of your money, yeah, I can't understand why we're broke. And they just steal all the money. They probably bought gold with it, and they'll move on. And I don't know how George Soros is a U.S. citizen. How did that happen? Hungary, he's from Hungary. They won't let him in the country, but we welcome him here. You got to be kidding. What a fucked up country we are. What else? So I got like 3 pages of a table of contacts that I took from our class, my master's class. And it goes back to history, the Romans, the U.S. history, and then gold and money and everything else. All right. That's D. Hopefully she's not in too much pain. And hopefully the perfume will help her out. So it's 168 in Russia. She says, how much is it in the US? So I will price it. This is the perfume you want. She wants Dolce and Gabbana, the one. So I'll have to Google that or see where. I don't even know where you buy perfume anymore. I don't even know what malls are open to go buy perfume. Or do I buy them at a mall or on Amazon? The whole structure of buying is basically going to Target and Kroger's. All right. So the problem is people don't know and they don't know who to ask. And they go to their financial planner and they say, sell your silver for this, and you do it. And this is why everybody gets killed. Buy real estate trusts. So in Attack on Wall Street, what's the guy do? He's got 60 grand because he was in the military and they gave it to him to discharge. And what does he do? He goes to the financial planner and they show you the scene and he goes, well, I trusted you. You told me it was guaranteed and I'd make 8%. And now you fucked me, right? And that's why he kills everybody. But you could see, why did you trust the guy? Why didn't you get his background? You're in the freaking army. Wouldn't you have gotten all the clues of what's going on? When you date a girl or a guy, don't you ask about her? What do you do? What do you like to do? What do you like to eat? What do you do this? What do you do that? Yet with the financial planner, he doesn't ask, well, what's your background in this? You just do it for commission. What makes you think the real estate trust will be good? And that's what people don't ask. They don't treat them like a normal person. You're afraid to intimidate. I think I was talking about shy with Alyssa yesterday about, I'm a very shy person. I said, what are you scared of? Right? What afraid of? Why are you shy? What shy means scared. What are you scared of? If you can identify your problem, you can solve it. Well, that's what I'm asking. You talk to your financial advisor, financial planner, CPA, whoever. I would never talk to a CPA about finance. They don't know anything about it. They're good for taxes. That's it. And so you'd have to ask, why? Always ask the question, why? And then always ask the question, well, what do you think of gold? Do you think the dollar can go bankrupt? You ask them those questions and try to get an idea of if they have any brains in their head or not, right? What do you ask me about gold? I says, I'm all in, buy it, buy it, buy it. And I tell you that the dollar's bankrupt, basically. And that's the whole point. If you go to your financial planner and he doesn't give you those two answers, get up and walk out. He's just a salesman, and you don't want a salesman. You're not going to give him 80, 90, $100,000 to a salesman and he gets his commission off of you. You want to understand what you're investing. I get guys, right? When I do Teaser King, when there's football on, who do you like? Oh, I like, well, okay, I gave you the exhaustive example of the Super Bowl. And I gave you take Philly and take the over. Why? I get the why question, and I'm able to answer it because good defense, they score a lot. Look at the other games against Washington, they scored a lot. Philly with Barkley, it's balanced. They should be able to score, and they're good defense. Kansas City, Mahomes, he'll score. So it should be decent scoring. Look at the Philadelphia games. They've been in the 50s. Kansas City played Buffalo to a 32-29 game. So that's where I'm getting the over from. If Buffalo can score 29 on them, Philadelphia can score 29. All we had to do was get to 42. I explained the pick. Philly is a strong dog. Take it. Game should go over because of these other games going over. Take it. Now, if you would ask the same questions to your financial planner and financial advisor and stop being intimidated because these guys are fucking salesmen, and ask them the gold question, the bankrupt question with the dollars, the BRICS question. If they can't answer it or they give this, well, BRICS isn't real. Well, bullshit. There's 20 members now and they're all buying gold. And if you understand how prices go up in a market, it's because of demand. And if the demand's huge for gold, don't you think the price is going to go up? And it's very limited supply. So a very low supply, very high demanded thing is the price has to go up. So yeah, these are derivatives that they're not real. It's not like baseball cards on eBay. So that's where you're at. And if you can't answer those questions, but you should do the same thing if you're dating a new girl or guy and you're just you don't know, you got to understand it. Everybody needs to be comfortable. So you've got to ask those questions. You always have to ask those questions. Then after you're comfortable, then you don't need to. But I bet you if you talk to 100 financial planners or advisors or stockbrokers, none of them would answer gold or the bankrupt question properly. None of them. I'm at the, like I said, I'm at the bank taking 10 grand out to buy gold 6 months, a year ago. And the guy's trying to put me, oh, I can get you 9% in an annuity. And I said, but I don't want to be in dollars. I want to be in gold. Went way over his head. He wants that commission. He'll give me 9%. Like, do you think that's better than buying gold and the 9%? Really? But that's the con game. That's the Ponzi. Well, forget that. I'll give you 9% on your money, which you think's a big thing. Reminds me of Madoff, and I'm going, I don't want 9% because I'm still in the fucking money. I'm still in this. This is the point. I'm trying to get off this into the lifeboat, and you're sticking me saying, well, I'll give you 9% to put your money in the bank. I go, I don't want the money. I want gold. I don't want paper. And I tore him a new one. And I said, no, you're out of your fucking mind. Why do I want to stay in paper? It's bankrupt. And of course, the guy, starts doing Keynesian on me. And I just roll my eyes at him like, he made a comment about, like I said, about elastic and inelastic. And I said, I don't talk Keynesian. I don't want to even go there. It's like the communists at the hot tub. I don't even want to talk to him. What am I going to talk to him about? So you're a communist. Oh, so you're got an IQ of about 2. If you think communism's good, your IQ is about 2. Why would I waste time talking to you? And that's the problem they don't get. So I don't even really pay attention or make eye contact with the guy. And I just look at him like, you're too stupid to talk to. Without saying it, that's what you're saying is if you get people like that or vampires who just want to talk, and not understand why would you waste your time and energy? I find I need to be recharged a lot, being stoic. You got to recharge the battery. So sometimes after class, I take a 20-minute nap, or when I get home from swim, I need a 20-minute nap. I got to recharge. And the problem is if you listen to these vampires and you listen to these people, you're just drained out. And why would I want to get drained out? That's where you're at with it. So again, you don't want your money in the stock market. It's so high and we're in a recession and the money's not worth anything. So it's really, the money's worthless. So why do you want to be in stocks? And as I tell my friend with the $500,000 401k, do you think it's going to stay at 500 or do you think it's going to go to $1 million or it's going to go to, zero? Which way do you think it's going? Oh, of course it's going to $1 million. Yeah, it'll be zero soon. And this is the problem. People don't get the banks crashing, the markets crash. Oh, it can't happen. Well, it didn't the Great Depression. It was the same scenario, and it didn't Rome, and it didn't all these other countries. That's why I show you these examples, because if it happened in the fucking Roman Empire, you don't think it can happen anywhere? And then England and France, Germany, all these went out. You don't think it can? It's proof that it happened. They were the number one powers, France and England and Rome and Amsterdam, Spain. They were the number one powers and they went out. So you're saying because we're the number one, it won't go out, even though we've ruined our money and we have this huge debt. So Trump trying to get money from Ukraine in minerals, I don't know. Basically, so we don't have to spend. He going to audit gold. He's not going to find any in Fort Knox. They might say there's some. If it is, it's Chinese. The China, we've sold it all to China. So anything in Fort Knox is China, not the U.S., which they won't say. So my guess is they'll go audit it and they'll say, oh, look, here's gold. But they won't mention that it's China's, that it's really not the U.S.'s. They won't mention that. Why do you think the U.S. got their gold back from London? So if you went into the London vault, you'd see the gold, but it wasn't London's gold. It was the U.S.'s gold. Same thing in Fort Knox. There might be gold in there. It's not our gold. It's China's gold. but they won't say that because, like in Money Heist, they have to make it look like there's gold backing the currency. Even if it's brass painted gold, like in Money Heist, they will not do an audit, show you that there's no gold in there. They'll never do that. So it's not even going to be real. It's just bullshit. And even I wouldn't trust if we went on the gold standard, I wouldn't trust it. I would take okay, here's $100. I would go to the bank and say, give me $100 worth of gold. See what they give me. That's about as far as I would trust them, but I won't believe it. So I don't know when this gold, let's see if they tell us when the audit is for. Oh, let's watch EGOT for a second.
The dollar as a currency has peaked. It's still the reserve currency of the world. It doesn't deserve to be it, but it is. It was supported by a strong military, and that's weakening also now. So we've already seen, of course, the beginning of the fall of the dollar. Now all currencies are falling more or less at the same rate. But anyway, when we talk about the dollar or the euro, we're measuring gold in fiat money that's going down daily. Gold never goes up, of course. Gold is just constant purchasing power. We should measure gold in how many chickens you can buy, or how many cows you can buy. Not in dollar terms. The dollar has gone down 99% since 1971. So it just feels good. But everybody in the Western world, especially, measure their assets in the currency which is devaluing on a daily basis, and it feels good to do it. The dollar as a currency has peaked. It's still the reserve currency.
It feels good to do it. So he's saying it's lost 99% of its value. I say it's lost 100. Let's see, anything. Well, I don't see it. Chinese rush to buy gold. I hate when it does that. Chinese rush to buy gold. Yuan devalues quickly. So what does that say? As I told you, the yuan is worthless also. So now maybe you can put two and two together. The yuan's worthless. So what do you do when your money's worthless? You buy gold. What do you do when the euro's worthless? You buy gold. And what do you do when this shit's worthless, the monopoly money? You buy gold because gold's real money. You can't print it and you can't inflate it, but everybody inflates their money. Chinese rush to buy gold. Gold bars sell out quickly. Yuan accelerates. They don't want it, and that's what happens. When nobody wants it, it has no value. Can I sell the Canadian Club to you? If nobody wants it, I can't sell it, even though I got a full bottle here of 12-year-old. If nobody wants it, it's worthless. If nobody wants it, it's worthless. The Chinese don't want the yuan. It's worthless. Yuan is worthless. Chinese rush to buy gold. If that isn't a clear sight to buy gold, I don't know what is, because if it's happening in China, we're special. Do we have, to quote my cousin Vinny, do we have like magic beans for the, what was that thing he made for breakfast? He's in court, and the guy says, well, I went and I did grits. And it only took me 5 minutes. And he goes, are these magic grits, magic beans that can cook in 5 minutes instead of 20? So are these magic dollars that, is this magic dollars that will keep its value? Fuck no. So if the Chinese, the great Chinese who are broke, are also broke, and Japan, and as Pat keeps telling us, he lives in Singapore, that South Korea's out and China, they're in line waiting to buy gold. And here you go. And this is 1 day ago. China rushed to buy gold. And that is exactly the point of what's going on. Let's see, but I don't see. Well, I'm not seeing your Fort Knox. Anyway, that audit. Scary. I like watching this guy, Douglas McGregor. He seems to be honest about it. Israel, Egypt, right there. I don't know. All right. I don't see the Fort Knox thing. I'll keep an eye on that. But I saw it yesterday that he was going to do it. They didn't announce a date. Maybe they won't do it because they know there's nothing in there. That's why we've never seen an audit, because they would expose that we don't have it and our dollar would collapse and just like that. So keep that in mind. And that's really what we're having is you can see all the other countries because it's the same theory. You print something that isn't backed by anything, it's worthless. If I had a yuan, I'd have this up there too, or a yen, or a ruble, or anything. If you keep this here, it's worthless. So therefore, it's every country has the same problem because every country did the same thing. The theory is you can't just keep printing and nothing will happen. Here's another example: China, right? We've seen it with we've seen it with all these countries, Sri Lanka and Pakistan and Greece and Turkey and Venezuela and Brazil and Argentina and France, England, and the Roman Empire. And that's the point. It happens every time. It has to happen because the governments keep getting bigger and they keep printing more and more money. And then nobody wants the money because they're not worth anything, like in China. And so they all run to gold because they know gold, you can't lose with gold. Gold is the lock of locks. It's the 100-unit lock of life. You cannot lose in gold. It will hold its value. And that's my point with Bitcoin. What is it? And can I lose with Bitcoin? Is Bitcoin better than gold? And the answer is no fucking way. And therefore, why would I want to be in Bitcoin? Why would I want to be in stock market? Why would I want to be in the banks where my dollar is worthless? So can you imagine you're in China and you got money in the bank? Do you even want it? No, you're running and buying gold. Then you put it in your house. You don't leave it in the bank. So this is what China's doing, all of them. That's why they got 80,000 tons of it, because even with all the gold that they have, the 60,000 tons of gold that the banks have, the central bank and the private banks and the shadow banks, they're still bankrupt because it doesn't matter. If you don't back your dollar by gold, it's worthless. So this is going to force BRICS to come out with the gold-backed currency. Between Russia and China and Turkey and these other countries with their dollars worthless, they're gonna come out with their gold. And this is why every country who's in BRICS, and now there's 20, are buying up all the gold. And there's not that much gold. So the US is probably trying to get it and they can't. England doesn't have any, and Canada doesn't have any. Three of the stupidest countries in the world. So anyway, Germany, Italy, and France have gold. They understand it. So the question you ask is, well, why do they have gold? So you're with your financial planner and go, well, why do all the central banks have gold if gold's worthless? Maybe I should buy some. And then oh no, here's an annuity at 9% to get into instead. And that's where you got to be stoic and say, fuck off. I'm going to buy gold. See you later. And that's what you really need to do. So Trump understands what's going on. Again, you can't watch COMEX because it's not real. but we just to get an eye on what the price is, but we know it's not a real price. So as I say, the demand for gold's up here and the price is here, right? The demand for Montana's here and the price is here. The demand for Manila's here and the price is here. The demand for gold and silver is here and the price is here. Does it make any fucking sense to anybody? So therefore, since the demand's up here and the price is down here, this is why we buy it. Normally it's reversed. Normally the price is up here and the market's down here. So normally the price is too high. Only in this situation is the demand higher than the price. This is the only thing that's fucked up. And people go, well, it doesn't move. It doesn't move because it's price fixed and it's getting broken by COMEX, by bricks. And it's getting broken because COMEX is going to blow up because they don't have the supply of gold and silver to keep the charade going on. Just like Madoff went broke because the financial crisis of 2008 exposed that there wasn't he couldn't get money in because nobody had money to give him, and it blew up. But at least he gave 15% for 20, 30 years. You made money with Madoff. Now with the dollar, I mean, the government's worse than Madoff. It's hysterical. So that's what you got to know. What else? So Trump knows what he's doing. His only hope is gold, and they're not going to go out with gold bonds, 50-year gold bonds. Who the fuck wants that? Just give me the gold. Don't sell me bonds. Nobody wants that. Just have gold-backed currency. It's not that hard. You got to raise the gold price to $50,000 an ounce. And I really don't understand it. If you go to a gold-backed system or you raise the price to 50,000, I don't really see the negative. What's the negative? I want dollars because they're backed by gold. And the fact that the gold price is up, it might destroy Wall Street because people would say, oh, I'd rather have gold than stocks. Who gives a fuck? I don't care. The stocks are all manipulated anyway. And so is the real estate trust. They can just as easily do that. They did it in that other one with the guy from Die Hard 3 in it, where he said, well, the music stopped and we've got to just dump all the real estate trusts, right? And he dumps it. Jeremy Irons, he dumps it all, and everybody gets fucked, right? They just dump it. We're selling, and he fucked all the customers. So you want to trust those guys? All we care about is our company. We don't care about our customers. What is that? Who does that? You think I do that in football? I only care about the customers. I make you money. That's the whole point of my Teaser King. I'm doing it here. I'm not charging anybody a penny. You're learning the most important thing in life that you can learn right here for free, because I want to take care of you. I don't want you to lose money because there's so many bad people out there, and all the banks and the governments and Wall Street's all out to fuck you. I'm not going to join that list. So that's the thing. Although then you don't believe me because nobody else says it. And I'm telling you, yes, you believe me because I show you what I do. I show you my cards. I show you my gold. I show you my silver. That's what you need to understand. So please do. What else? So de-dollarizations, there's no demand for the money. We know that. Inflation is basically printing the money, and nobody wants to tell you that. And they all want to tell you it's prices, and just roll your eyes when you hear it. Well, the CPI said 2%. Fuck that. It's not real. You cannot stop inflation only with gold. Because once you start printing the money, you can't get the genie back in the bottle. So understand that mess. Anyway, let's see. This is alligator, but we've already heard this one. So now people are taking bits and pieces and putting it on their own, but we've already heard it. Here's one. Austria announces collapse. So now it's going to Austria. Germany's already collapsed. England's collapsed. Italy. What else? Here she says, latest inflation data jolts the gold market, which is good for the gold. London gold vaults are empty as the inflation is, but I'm not going to waste time with her. I'm going to finish with a stoic one.
Even though I've been holding on to so much anger,
I choose to release it now.
I choose to release it.
They will never be able to manipulate you again.
5
If
minutes
you
of
do
Marcus
this,
Aurelius.
there exists a force more dangerous than any enemy, more subtle than any poison: manipulation. The world is filled with those who seek to control, to bend your will for their own gain. And if you are not vigilant, you will be nothing more than a pawn in their game. But there is a way out. There is a way to ensure that no one, no friend, no foe, no force, can ever manipulate you again. 1. Master your emotions. The first rule of resistance: control yourself before others control you. Manipulators prey on impulse. They seek your anger, your desperation, your need for approval. They push buttons, waiting for you to react. But a man of discipline does not react. He observes. He does not lash out. He contemplates. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The moment you become unshakable, their power over you dissolves. 2. Embrace indifference to praise and criticism. Praise is a chain, criticism is a dagger. Both can be used to control you. If you crave validation, they will give it to you, then take it away. If you fear rejection, they will threaten you with it. But a true Stoic walks through life indifferent to both. Seneca teaches, a wise man is content with himself. Let them speak, let them flatter, let them insult. It does not matter. Their words do not define you. Your character does. 3. Control your desires. A man ruled by desire is a man easily controlled, whether it is wealth, status, or pleasure. If they know what you want, they will use it against you. But when you strip away unnecessary wants, when you make peace with simplicity, you become untouchable. Epictetus warns us, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. When you need nothing from them, their grip on you breaks. 4. Learn the art of silence. The more you speak, the more you reveal. The more you reveal, the easier you are to manipulate. A man of wisdom knows this. That is why he speaks little, but listens much. Zeno of Citium, the founder of Stoicism, put it plainly, better to trip with the feet than with the tongue. Do not argue. Do not explain yourself to those who do not deserve it. Let silence be your shield, your weapon, your fortress. 5. Set unbreakable boundaries. A river without banks becomes a flood. A man without boundaries becomes a victim. Manipulators test limits. Push once, push twice, and before you know it, they own you. But a man who stands firm, who refuses to compromise his values, cannot be moved. Seneca states, no man is free who is not master of himself. Say no. Mean it. Defend your space, your time, your mind. Do this, and they will find no entrance. 6. Accept that some people must be left behind. Not all battles are worth fighting. Some people thrive on deception, and no amount of wisdom will change them. Walk away, detach. As Epictetus said, the key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best. A manipulator cannot control you if you remove yourself from their reach. Let them go and regain your peace. 7. Live by principles, not emotions, the final and greatest defense against manipulation. Live by unwavering principles. Manipulators shift, deceive, and twist reality, but a man guided by virtue does not waver. He does what is right, regardless of the cost. He is immune to bribes, temptations, and threats. Marcus Aurelius instructs us, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Live with integrity, and no one will ever control you again. The power of the unshakable mind. When you master these principles, you become untouchable. You rise above the games, the deception, the false promises. You move through the world with clarity, with strength, with absolute freedom. And that is a power no manipulator can ever take from you. They can only control you if you allow them. Take back your power. Build an unshakable mind. If this wisdom speaks to you, embrace it. Live it. If you want more lessons on strength, discipline, and fortitude, subscribe and join us on this path. Until next time, stay sharp, stay strong.
You gotta love Marcus Aurelius. So I did that with my brother. He's always bothering me, trying to control me and everything. And you just eliminate him. I'm not going there anymore. And oh, it's your brother. Yeah, but he's a pain, he's a control freak and everything else, a manipulator. So you just ignore those type of people. That's why I don't talk to the communist in the hot tub. You tell me about communism. I don't want to hear it. And I'm not going to be manipulated. And there's no reason to begin a conversation with him. So I have no point to talking to him because it's going nowhere. So, I mean, that's what you try to do. You avoid the vampires, you avoid the talkers, you got to understand they're manipulating you and you avoid them and you try to stay away from them. These are not people you want to talk to or listen to or hang out and then be careful talking. So you stay silent unless it's a friend and and he's a good person you talk to. Otherwise, that's why, like with strangers or people you really don't know that well, just shut up. Just listen to what they say, and then you'll know, oh, he likes gold. Then you start going in. But if you listen and they go, I don't like gold, or if it even comes around, then you make your own decisions based on that. And you go, oh, no, I don't really want to be there. So that's a lot of what obviously Stoicism is, which we know. Our buddy Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca. I love that. Kind of wish we were living in ancient Greece, ancient Rome, there too. All right, so I guess that's about it. Let's see where gold is. And I will leave you with gold 29.22, down $7. Again, this is all bullshit. The demand for gold. See, the demand for gold, especially what's happening in China, does not provide this. Why would this be going down with nobody selling it and huge demand for it, and nobody is selling it? That's where you got to be careful with the derivatives. And why is silver down 32.63? But this is the point. Gold should be up $100 today with everything going on in China and everything else. And it's not, and it's not profit taking, because this has nothing to do with profit taking. This is derivatives. So 29.22, the US at about 145. So we'll see it. Again, it'll go up tonight once Asia gets it in China. And China needs it because the demand are people buying gold and the dollar's losing value. So they're going to be buying gold. So look for a big shoot up tonight. As you can see, 29.22. This is very low. again, it's, everybody thinks it's an all-time high. It's a paper price. Do not buy ETFs. Do not buy stocks. Do not buy like an IRA where you can't take ownership of the gold. Only buy gold physically. If you can't take ownership, you don't want it, especially ETFs, because that's just a Ponzi scheme. You will never get gold out of or silver out of an ETF. So don't waste your time with it. It's all Ponzi. So keep that in mind. So I think with that, since I've already done the first one, um, that's where I will leave you. Again, www.teaserking.com. You get my email. You can email me questions, comments. And that's really what we're about. So you really want to be gold and silver because the dollar is worthless. And I just showed you China. The dollar is gone in China, and it's gone in India, and it's gone in Japan, and it's gone in euro, and the British pound's gone, and all these. You can't just keep printing dollars with no effect. You can't go for fourth down and not make it without losing the game. So understand that logic. If you keep printing, it will go to zero. And China, why is China going bankrupt now? Because they kept printing. So that's what you have to understand. The U.S. is gone. They won't tell you, but it's gone. And then there's going to be a scramble for gold here, and that's why I keep yelling at you to buy it now. You're buying it ahead of the frenzy, and that frenzy is going to push that price way up. So you go buy and buy and buy. That's the point. All right, everybody. Well, have a good day. I'm off to swim, and it's freezing cold here. We had 10 inches of snow over the last few days, and it looks calm today. So I can't wait to go outside and freeze my ass off. But I need the pool, so I do the bike in the pool in the hot tub. So it's good to get out, relax. All right. Well, have a good day, everybody. www.teaserking.com, and I will see you tomorrow. And be good, relax, buy your gold.